Okay, you know what I've noticed recently, and what I continue to notice more and more as time goes on, is there is this complete lack of connection and community, especially for the younger generation. Like, yes, the older generation has their own version of this, and that's another problem to resolve. But today I want to focus on the younger generation specifically. I feel like our younger generation struggles so much more with mental health and emotional health because of this lack of connection, especially as the society that we're living in is being pushed into this very individualistic type of a society. Whereas in the past, everyone was a community. You knew your neighbors. You were able to ask for help. You were able to go over and be like, hey, my roof is leaking. Do you mind if I borrow a hammer from you? Or what, you know? And that still exists, I suppose, especially out in the countrysides more than the city. But I feel like that type of community, that type of connection that you had with other people has disintegrated. And that's just one example, right? But I find especially in the last 10, 20, 30 years, it's just completely vanished. And I feel like the younger generation growing up now, because we never experienced that, we don't know what it's about. We don't know how to interact with each other in that way. We try and accommodate for each other, but if you don't have that solid, stable grounding that society was supposed to have given us, it can be really, really difficult. And I feel like a lot of this has to do with the lack of third spaces that we have, specifically for the younger people. I feel like your first space, right? Your first space is always your home, your house, where your family is. Whether you have a positive or a negative relationship to your family is a different story altogether, but that is your first space, right? It's the house that you live in. Your second space generally is your educational space, the school you go to, the college you may go to. You know, it's a space for you to go and connect with your peers and with your friends. You know, yes, you're learning, yes, you have a teacher standing over you, but it is a space for you to go and meet up with people who are the same age group as you. Now, third spaces are things like your dance classes, your, I don't know, swimming classes, your skateboard parks, your arcades, where you would go after school, after your educational has finished for the day, to hang out with people without any pressure. And it's all people your own age, people who you have similar interests to, people who love what you love, that you can find that deeper heartfelt connection with. And I feel like those are the spaces that have been vanishing more and more as time goes on. And I'm so disappointed with the fact that that's the way that it is these days, because I feel like that's made it so much harder for the younger generation to connect to each other in a heartfelt way, in that heart-based level, for us to form these deeper communicative bonds with each other, to express ourselves, to find out who we are, because we're all reflections of one another. You know, it's everyone is everyone. You know, it's like the law of oneness. If you're into your spirituality, we have the law of oneness, and it's I am you and you are me and we are one, right? Yes, we're two different people. Yes, we have these two different lives, and our realities are so vastly different from each other. Our experiences are so vastly different from each other, but that's where the beauty comes from. It's those differences. And I feel like there aren't enough spaces for younger people to connect to each other and to communicate to each other, to find that expression, to get to know each other and get to know themselves. Because when you're getting to know another person, you're actually learning so much about yourself as well. And I feel like that's so incredibly important. You know, and for me personally, my huge passions are creativity. I love anything to do with art, with music, with film, with, I don't know, with my spirituality, with philosophy, with mindset, with, you know, deep thinking, with, and like I love reading. I love anything creative, anything that sparks joy, that sparks beauty, that gives you that excitement for life, that joy, that vibrancy. Okay, anything to do with that, I love. Okay, and I have so many wonderful friends who are exactly like that, who are so incredibly talented at what they do, so creative. They have such passion for life, and they have nowhere to put that passion. It's like there's this lack of expression because the facilities that we should have are just not available. So, what I've been noticing is that because of this lack of space for younger people in the external world, there has now been this explosion and this abundance of these spaces created for younger people in the digital world online, you know, and it's through things like YouTube, like Instagram, like gaming services, like streaming services. You know, it's there are other ways for people to connect to each other, but you just have to know how to find them, you know? And I feel like a lot of people are turning to the internet and turning online in order to find that deeper sense of connection to people where they may lack it in the external world. You know, you may have people around you in your current reality that you love, that you enjoy being around, but you may not feel like you truly belong with them because maybe they don't share the same thoughts that you have, maybe they don't share the same passions you have, and you know, you want to find your community, you want to find your tribe, you want to find where you truly feel like you belong. So what I want to do, what I want to create is this space specifically for creative people, for people who love their dancing, their art, their music, making filmmaking, people who love spirituality, people who love deep conversations, people who love anything that makes them feel passionate about life, anything that makes them feel like themselves, anything that helps people to discover who they are internally within themselves, anything that helps people to express themselves in a beautiful way, inspires people to express themselves. So if you want to join me in this little adventure of mine, please do. Please subscribe. You know, say hello in the comments and let me know what your deepest passions are. Let me know who you want to be as a person, who you are as a person, and what you love and what you want to create in life.